2025 has been a wild year for amusement park stories. From announcements to closures, I thought it was nice to go over the biggest amusement park stories of 2025. Now, keep in mind, I'm not including tragedies or accidents. I'm just including the broader stuff, such as announcements that caught us off guard or we weren't expecting something like this. Now, coming at number 10 is an announcement that's coming in low on this list because it's not really confirmed, but it was announced at IAAPA, and that is the new LSM launch coaster possibly coming to Orlando, Florida. Back in November, SNS dropped something that kind of surprised us, which I thought should be recognized on this list. This ride is not going to any of the Orlando parks. It's instead going to this restaurant and nightclub called Mango's Tropical Cafe. Orlando is a bustling nightlife city. People might want to go to Universal in the day and then go to one of the Fun Spot parks or even this Mango restaurant at night to ride a roller coaster. This comes after the failed Polar Coaster Project, where it was supposed to be the world's tallest coaster, set to open back in 2017, and it was supposed to go in that same area. At number 9, we got Six Flags Qiddiya has announced an opening date. Six Flags Qiddiya is going to be a soon-to-open Six Flags park located in Saudi Arabia, and is set to debut the world's tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster, Falcon's Flight. The park is scheduled to open to the public on December 31st, and the project was announced back in 2019. When it was announced, we all thought it was never going to happen since Six Flags canceled two other projects at the time. Six Flags Qiddiya is not only going to be home to Falcon's Flight, but it'll also have Spitfire, an LSM launch coaster by Intamin, Colossus, a GCI wooden roller coaster, and Iron Rattler, not to be confused with Six Flags Fiesta Texas, but this ride is opening a ride named Iron Rattler that will be a Vekoma tilt coaster. And coming at number 8 is the announcement of two big international parks. Universal United Kingdom, located in Bedfordshire, England, and Disneyland Abu Dhabi. Universal UK is scheduled to open in 2031, and Disneyland Abu Dhabi is scheduled to open between 2030 and 2032. Universal UK will be the first Universal property in Europe, and there's plans to split the resort up into 4 zones, with the core zone being hotels and mixed-use development, kind of like City Walk. There's an east and west zone, which will be used for transport hubs, and there's also a lake zone. Now, it's still undecided what rides are coming in, but if you look at the left part of the screen, there is some sort of green track. I don't know if it's B&M, Mach, or Intamin, but it looks like it could involve a spike. Disneyland Abu Dhabi is going to be located on Yas Island, and it'll be Disney's first park in the Middle East and Disney's 4th park in Asia. Rides are also undecided at Disneyland Abu Dhabi, but I expect both Universal UK and Disneyland Abu Dhabi to be very immersive parks. At number 7, we got the announcement of Tormenta coming to Six Flags Over Texas, a B&M dive that will be over 300 feet tall. In November 2024, Six Flags announced that a few of their parks will be getting record-breaking rides, including Six Flags Over Texas, which was announced as a record-breaking dive coaster, but no other details exactly. In summer 2025, more details came out, and that was when we finally learned about Tormenta, a new B&M Giga dive coaster. It'll have a height of 309 feet, drop of 285 feet, and a max speed of 87 miles per hour. And coming at number 6, we got an RMC Raptor coming to Family Kingdom in 2026. Who had this on their bingo card? I don't think any of us did. Family Kingdom is a seaside park located in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That will be the first RMC Raptor to come to South Carolina. There aren't a lot of details, but it'll have a height of 100 feet, max speed of 50 miles per hour, 0 inversions. So my guess is that it's gonna lean towards families, but it's still gonna be a fun addition to the park. Coming in at number 5, we got the acquisition of Palace Entertainment Parks by Hershan. This was definitely a big move in the amusement industry, especially since this was right after another big move when Six Flags and Cedar Fair merged. Hershan is known for having Dollywood and Silver Dollar City in their chain. Before 2020, the chain owned 3 properties, and now they're up to 11. In 2021, they acquired Kentucky Kingdom, and the chain is now making tons of investment into that park. And this year, they acquired all the Palace Entertainment parks, which include Kennywood, Lake Compounds, and Storyland, and other more parks. Palace Entertainment isn't really a chain anymore. They were a subside of a chain based out in Europe. After acquiring Palace Entertainment, Hershan then acquired Silverwood in Idaho. And Hershan could now be one of the leading amusement park chains in the world with all those acquisitions. And at number 4, we got the delay of Quantum Accelerator for another year. Quantum Accelerator will now open in 2026, which was originally supposed to open in 2025. Quantum Accelerator was announced in summer 2024, and it was supposed to be New England's only double launch coaster. Unfortunately, it looks like inspectors found something on the ride, which leads us to our number 3 story, and that is the Intamin recall. In summer 2025, Intamin recalled all their straddle coasters in the US and closed them for the majority of the summer season. Those rides affected were Dark Coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, Wave Breaker at SeaWorld San Antonio, and Arctic Rescue at SeaWorld San Diego. All of them were temporarily shut down during the 2025 season. My guess is that inspectors found something with the restraints on Quantum, which promptly delayed Quantum and shut all the other straddles down, because I don't think it came from any of the other straddles. Quantum was just finishing construction and testing during the time. I know both Intamin and the state of Massachusetts has had a history of debate with restraints, and Quantum is another Intamin coming to Massachusetts. And they probably wanted to shut all the other straddles down just to see what's going on with Quantum, just for safety of the things. And coming in at number 2, we got an earnings call that Six Flags wants to close more parks. This was made during the Q3 earnings call back in November, where Six Flags wants to close or sell off non-core properties. The company did make a list of core and non-core properties. However, they decided not to disclose them. In my opinion, the properties they have as non-core would be parks like St. Louis, Valley Fair, and even Frontier City and Darien Lake, where Six Flags operates those parks. I think those parks have a higher chance of closing or selling off. There's definitely small parks in the chain that I do see as 100% safe, and that is Great Escape, Loran, Michigan's Adventure, and even Dorney Park, which I know could have a question mark since the company really wants to build up Great Adventure. Say if Great Adventure's new record-breaking launch coaster is a hit and attendance and revenue drops at Dorney, then yeah, Dorney could close. But if it's the opposite, that the record-breaking coaster becomes known as a failure and people say it isn't as good as Kingda Ka, then yeah, Dorney could get a boost in attendance, and who knows what happens to Great Adventure. I do think Legacy Cedar Fair parks have the higher chance of being safe than Legacy Six Flags parks, and that is definitely something we have to watch in the next year or two. The chain runs 26 parks, and we could be seeing at least one closure by the end of 2026 and a few more in the next 3 to 5 years, which brings us to our number 1 story, and that is the closure of Six Flags America. I think this is definitely the biggest story of 2025 and possibly one of the biggest stories in the last decade. We haven't seen a major amusement park on this scale close since Geauga Lake in 2007, which I wasn't a coaster enthusiast back then. So this is the first time I'm seeing a major park shut down, especially a park that I can say that I've been to. And I remember people talking about this park about 10 years ago. The backstory comes after Six Flags and Cedar Fair merger on July 1st, 2024, which became known as the Six Flags Entertainment Corporation. After the merger, Six Flags decided to remove a lot of rides without saying anything, which included Kingda Ka, the world's tallest coaster at the time. In February 2025, Six Flags released an earnings call about closing parks. Then on May 1st, Six Flags announced that Six Flags America would be closing for good after the 2025 season. With the earnings call, I could see Six Flags shutting down Six Flags America in the near future, but I didn't think it would be this soon. So that is it for our top 10 amusement park stories of 2025. Let me know down in the comments what was the biggest news story you've heard of in 2025, and if you agree, down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.